My name is Danielle Lazarin. I am a native New Yorker and a product of New York City Public Schools. I live in Inwood now. I have 2 daughters. One is currently in pre-K and the other one is almost 2. Lizzie, Patricia, and I are here as part of a loosely organized all-volunteer group of concerned District 6 parents. We live in District 6, north to south. Some of us have children enrolled in local zone schools. Some of us have children enrolled in the D6 schools of choice, and some of us don't have children, like myself, enrolled in the schools yet, but we are looking at them currently. My husband and I, who's not here tonight, he's home with my kids, started the Facebook page and the petition when we heard about what was going on. We started on a whim. Those of you who've been on the page know that we have close to 300 people who have shown their support for it. We did that because we're dismayed at the lack of information about the kindergarten process from the Department of Education, and agree with the information that we've received that there's a real problem in the district communicating with parents about the choices that are currently available in the district. Through this effort, through the Facebook page and the petition, which quite honestly we did it as a whim, we found tons of parents who shared our concerns. We're worried that the dezoning proposal is a distraction from the real problems that face this district, and we fear that kids will just be shuffled around and the worst performing schools will continue to underperform and face the threat of closure, and more importantly, fail the students and the families of the neighborhoods that we all call home, and every single one of us who is involved call this neighborhood home, and that is from 219th Street all the way down to 145th. And what I just handed over to Judith was a petition, along with a letter that we've written outlining what we are asking, which is that the CEC table this discussion and instead focus the resources on fixing the problems of the district. Along with the signatures we've collected through the work of parent volunteers, and it has only been parent volunteers, the letter summarizes our opposition to the pure choice model and offers support for the solutions which were outlined earlier in the year of better communication and kindergarten fair and all those things, which, like, as a pre-K parent, I would love. That would be great if I wouldn't have to go to my neighbors. The letter is signed by a handful of involved parents, but we know based on the petition alone that we have at least 1,480 parents in this district who stand with us in thinking that dezoning is not the answer to these very real problems. So that's the petition. We have electronic copies of it. We will be forwarding them to Dennis Walcott at the DOE, Mayor Bloomberg, council members Udanis Rodriguez and Robert Jackson, as well as Scott Stringer. I'm going to pass it over to Lizzie.
Hi, my name is Lizzie Softji, and I have 3 kids. One is 12 and was at a District 6 school. I have a 4-year-old who's going to be in kindergarten at a District 6 school next year, and I have a 7-month-old who will be at a District 6 school in 2017. The supporters of this one zone initiative have been very clear in saying that this is not a lottery and that parents will get a school of their choice. I want to speak from experience when applying to elementary school and middle school for my oldest child. Our first choice was the school that we absolutely loved. Our second choice was the school that we were going to be okay with. Our third choice was the choice that we just thought, she'll be safe. And our fourth choice was just a choice. We didn't care for it. Our third, we didn't care either. And I mean, some of these choices were not great, were not equal. It was not fair. There was definitely not equity at all. My child went to her 4th choice in middle school. She hated going to school. We were waitlisted on choice 1, 2, and 3. We appealed, and that didn't work. All we wanted was for our kid to go to her local school in her district, and that did not happen for us. Choice 4 was not a fair choice, and she was not happy. I was not happy. I had to pull her out of school before she fell into depression and shut down. She now goes to a school outside of the district where she has to take 2 trains and a bus. It's just not fair. I was at the Idani's meeting and there were plenty of issues discussed. I mean, this meeting went for hours and hours, and people talk about making their school that they're in better. They talk about having choices in their school, having art and having music. No one during those hours discussed that they wanted to be elsewhere or they didn't care to be in their zone. They talk about wanting to fix their zone school and make it better for their children. No one ever discussed, I want this zoning thing to happen. I didn't hear it. We all want equity, but there's no such a thing in District 6. The schools are not equal. Not all schools have music, art, sports. What should be the norm? Not all children can get a spot at a good school in District 6. There are more schools struggling than great schools. It is not fair and true that parents will get a seat in these great schools. That's a lie. Brian, I totally agree with you. Equity should be the norm. You're right. All kids should have the choice of a good education with all resources needed, but that is not the truth for District 6. We are not being honest if we tell parents that the solution is to dezone District 6. Why don't we instead, with the help of politicians and the Board of Ed, fix the issues addressed at Idani's meeting? Why can't we harness these nearly 1,500 motivated parents who have signed this petition, who are committed to working to better our district? Maybe after working on those, we can perhaps discuss equity. And maybe in 10 years, we can discuss dezoning our school, because every school is great and we can go to any school. But not into that. We're not ready, and District 6 is definitely not ready.
I have a 6-year-old in PS 153 in Harlem, a 1st grader. I am also PTA president. I want to first start my comment and my part of this presentation with the question, how was this dezoning proposal or idea brought to the CEC, and by whom, and what was their motive? And that is the constant question that comes up at every meeting. I have yet to see a body of parents fighting for this dezoning. What did happen, and what I find very suspect, is that a petition was circulating around my school to get parents to sign on having choice. And the dezoning proposal was presented to them as choice. And that is inaccurate, misleading, and very deceptive. Yes. Because it is a lottery system. And if lottery was a choice, we would all be millionaires because we would be choosing to win. Thank you.